Absolutely not. Slovenia is still perceived in the eyes of the foreigners as a kind of beautiful country with very professional people, well educated, positive people. Because when we are outside Slovenia, we are much more positive than when we are in Slovenia. In Slovenia, I think that we are too self-critical. And Slovenia is still perceived as a kind of the economy where we can do the business. Of course, Slovenia will never be a market with a big potential for multinational companies. But Slovenia is definitely perceived as a country with the great people, top talents, which can really bring a lot of values. When I talk to my colleagues on the international jobs, I see one value, and this is openness. If you are not open to the people, it's very hard to drive the international business. And openness means that you really grab different cultures, different values, different rules in doing the business. And you need to have a high level of integrity and consistency. Because if you do not leave this integrity, then it's a challenge. But it's not just valid for international jobs or the local jobs. I think that integrity is one of the core values we all as the leaders and people as a whole should grab. Just recently I saw one great statement from the Warren Buffett, I think. And Warren Buffett said, as a quote, leaders, they need to have 3 core values: integrity, energy, and intelligence. But if you don't have the first one, integrity, the other 2 will kill the organization. And I fully agree with that statement. Thank you, Alan, for the great question. I like it, but I need to think first. In my life, I learned one thing. It's actually the question of triangle. And the edges of triangle are your job. That's what you are doing. The second one is the family. And the third one is myself. And you have to tend in your life to have this triangle. Because if you have a line, something is wrong. And managing the balance, it's an art. It's an art, it's the same as the leadership of the management. Running my kids, it's interesting because I have one son already as a student and the youngest son in the kindergarten. So having a different approach, it's kind of the same as in the business, You need to treat every person as your direct report or your person in the team individually, and it's the same with my sons, Because discussion I have with my student and this discussion I had with my guy in the kindergarten is a little bit different. But the oldest son helps me a lot. Because, you know why? I learn from him a lot. Especially in the new world, when the young generation is completely different than we were, and I'm still feel young, don't get me wrong, but... in the transformation of the world, primarily from the technology standpoint, style of life, I learn a lot from young people, and that's why I really enjoy also in the coaching of young people, because it's a learning and personal development for me. It's the great. But yeah, doing the business in the international company, it's just another dimension. Being in an international company or the local company, at the end of the day, we are all in the international and the global world. It's not a big difference. It's maybe just a little bit more exposed because everybody is looking at you, how you deal with different cultures, values, different people, different approaches. But at the end of the day, the life is art, from the business, from the family, and also when I get some time for my personal activities and my hobbies.
Well, my next question is, Bill Gates, Warren Buffett, and Mark Zuckerberg decided to give half of their wealth to the charities. Is that like a company policy? Does that apply also to senior manager, or what's your opinion about that?
It's all about the personal values. Bill Gates is just the owner of the company, so that's his private decision how to invest the surplus of some money. And personally, but you know, Bill Gates is definitely perceived as a great leader in our company. It's a kind of person who make this company successful from the garage, and we are all looking at him as a kind of really a leader with a vision, and we learn a lot from him. And at the end of the day, how much we are engaged in the corporate social activities beside the company activities, it's our personal decision and personal attitude and personal feeling. And I feel privileged when I'm engaged in such activities.